Hello to everybody. It's a great pleasure to contribute to this conference with a few words from my side here in Switzerland. My name is Sonja Matheson and I speak to you in my role as director and editor of the Swiss publishing house Baobab Books. Before I will briefly introduce our company, I would like to thank the organizer for the invitation to speak to you. It's a great opportunity and I'm very certain that sharing our experiences in the publishing sector over these past few months will be very important and useful for all of us in the book trade. Now, Baobab Books is a small independent publishing house for children's literature in Switzerland. We publish in the German language. As you might be aware, Switzerland has 4 official languages. German is one of them, so we are addressing the German-speaking market within Switzerland, but also internationally. We are one of very few Swiss publishers that focuses on children's literature only. And in that we are even further specific in our profile as we promote cultural diversity by means of publishing books from all over the world in German translation. Picture books, chapter books, novels for teenagers, young readers, graphic novels from Asia, from Africa, from the Middle East, from Latin America, from ethnic minorities in Europe or indigenous communities all over the world. We want to make voices from different backgrounds heard. We want to give children access to a diverse range of books, books that give them a chance to discover something new, and books that give them a chance to discover themselves too, because as different as nations, cultures, communities sometimes might seem, at a closer look, we will always find something we have in common. Human values we share, dreams and hopes and fears that are alike. So that publishing goal results in a program with books from so far almost 40 different countries and about 20 different languages in more or less 30 years of publishing history. Apart from that, Baobab Books as an institution is also engaged in promoting reading skills and intercultural exchange. We, for instance, provide free materials for teachers. We have a program for schools we call book visits, where we go to schools and work with students, pupils directly. We run workshops and courses for professionals such as librarians and teachers, how books can contribute to an environment of diversity and inclusion in their institution, in their community. And maybe a final word, we do not publish ebooks apart from the teaching materials. Because we believe that we want to stick to the printed book as cultural achievement. We do not want to put into competition with digital formats. And so far I can say this has worked very well for us as a strategy. Now, looking back into this past half a year, 6, 7, 8 months already. It was mid-March, and amidst our full calendar of international book fairs, local book festivals, school visits were scheduled and reading events. Also Switzerland went into lockdown mid-March. Bookstores were closed for more or less 2 months. Schools were closed for almost 3 months. Libraries 2, and some higher schools, universities even longer than that. So Baobab Books was affected like all other publishers. A loss in book sales in the shops, complete standstill of all promotional events, and on the other hand, the rising demand of online sales. There was a lot to consider in this situation. Luckily, we have been setting up online offers long before the lockdown. Our teaching materials, for instance, have been a digital offer from the very start in 2005 already. And it's a free service. And we have generally built up a strong customer relationship over the last decade with a constantly growing mailing list, with direct book sales, with events, offering online sample pages, background materials, and other. So we felt fortunate to have the self-built backbone in this particular situation. And we did not solely depend on the traditional channel of distribution or on any of the global online players. And that was our asset in the situation, for sure. Nevertheless, the situation was a challenge for us too. And direct sales, for instance, could never cover up for closed shops in the whole German-speaking territory, or the publishing sector was excluded from compensation for a loss of earnings in the cultural sector in Switzerland. So we had to deal with the loss of income, and we had to find ways to cover up. So very early on we decided that we do not have time to wait, and we do not want to wait. We have to act upon the situation. So on the one hand, we decided to get in touch with our customers and readers, and we decided to communicate very openly. And we also decided that we want to do things differently and take the opportunity to try something new, as the whole situation was different. On the other hand, we advertised for our online offerings, for our materials. We had already before, but we intensified all the offerings and all the communication about it. So, and that was our support, our contribution for teachers, for parents in the time of homeschooling, and we could see that this was very welcome, because everybody was looking for something, for some kind of support, for some kind of material, and we were lucky to have this already right at hand, and we just had to see how we could intensify our communication with our audience. And important as well was that although these additional materials is all a free offer, we always made the connection to the actual book. We always spread the message, please do buy our books and do not only consume whatever is available for free or online, because books are not taken for granted. It's the illustrators need your support, authors need your support, publishers need your support through buying the books. And that was a message that definitely, in our case, we could say that definitely got through to the audience, and we could even see sales going, direct sales directly from Baobab Books were going up. So that was a very positive response. Then, as I said, we also wanted to do things differently, and one of our actions was the production of audios for the very first time. We asked authors, but also actors and otherwise talented friends, to read from our books and make recordings, and both in German, the publishing language, but also in their mother tongue, original language. So this resulted in an online library, an audio library, which was available for free to anyone who wanted to listen. And again, this was, on the one hand, a support from Baobab Books during these challenging times when schools, libraries, but also bookstores were closed. And at the same time, it was establishing a strong bridge, or building a bridge to the actually printed book, the hard copy. So it was always a combination of both the traditional publishing program and a new format. For us, that was an experiment, and the response was extremely positive, and we will certainly continue with this format in the future. Within just a few weeks, we had a couple of thousand downloads, and we could establish links with other befriended institutions and exchange offerings between different institutions as well. We did not offer videos because we wanted to stay close to literature, as close as possible, and as an art form that enhances our imagination. And we felt with audios that's given compared to the picture, which has a different effect on the viewer, on the audience. So again, that was a decision that was deliberate, and that has definitely worked in our case. So that's just briefly an overview on how we try to meet this extraordinary situation. We still don't know what will happen next, and for the book sector, with its small margins anyway, the recovery will be tough, I have no doubt, and it will be tough for Baobab Books too. So it is obvious the world community in general will face further disruption, uncertainty and conflicts, as sadly as it seems. Nevertheless, I am convinced with books, and books for children and young readers in particular, we can spread a message of hope. Through literature, we can show how important we all are when things need to change, and both hope and change is needed in many ways and in many places these days. So I hope you will keep up your spirits, and you will enjoy making books and find your way how to make your way through this challenging time. I thank you very much for listening, and I wish you a good continuous conference. Bye-bye from Basel.